You know, I want to tell you this. You do. You do also have wonderful eyes for the theater. I think of you as having kind of Betty Davis eyes. Big, and you're so lucky to have not squinty little eyes, but these great orbs that can tell so much, can show so much, express so much.
Thanks. Well, I do. I consider myself lucky because I do think the eyes are the window to the soul. But, for me, I mean, I always felt I had a beautiful soul, and in terms of acting, didn't have the package, the leading man package, and it was the two roles, what defines my life, the Elephant Man, when I did Elephant Man, and Making Faces when I played a woman.
Yeah.
Because when I was Elephant Man, it allowed me to feel that beautiful inside that no one could see, and then with Making Faces, again, like, the woman, I got so much attention for being an attractive woman, and that I don't get when I'm on stage as a man, or I don't feel that way,
Yeah. Do I ever know? I too spent my life, my young life certainly, feeling very unwanted, very at odds with the world that I was living in, not knowing who I was, that nobody wanted me or cared for me because I felt I was neither fish or fowl. Sort of lost in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Would you like to see something? I'm a little sensitive about it, but what I just talked about, you have to come downstairs and keep some of this stuff downstairs out of the range of most people seeing it. And I will be going down the steps very slowly because of having once falling down the steps and breaking my ankle and taking so long.
Take your time.
And I had to have surgery and a metal plate put in and now I live for fear of falling, having broken both legs. I don't think you've seen this room since I redid it. I had a plumbing problem, and when the plumbers were here, it made me realize how ashamed and neglected this room was. So I went to work and really kind of fixed it up. I'm really pleased with those. All my opera tapes and opera singers that I wrote letters to that sent me pictures that I've held on to the years and
where do you find the time?
Love. And I record all of this stuff thinking that I would have, in my twilight years, playing all of these singers that are long gone, and I never get around to it. It's terrible. But, you ready?
Yeah.
I told you that I felt not belonging to society. This is what I looked like when I was 18.
You're, Ted. Oh my gosh. You were so beautiful.
Well, I don't...
Oh my... You were like a cherub. I mean, like innocent boy, and yet I see that sort of Katharine Hepburn, young Katharine Hepburn. Oh my God.
Yeah, well...
So androgynous.
Well, upstairs I mentioned Kings Row and Henry Bellman.
Yeah.
Well, this is Henry Bellman that I wrote to and that he wrote back. And in one of his letters, I sent him this picture and the picture that was taken for the high school annual graduation. And he said, about this picture, you have a face from the planet Uranus.
He said Uranus?
He said Uranus, yes, as I recall.
Uranus.
Uh-huh.
Ted.
What?
Do you think that Dr. Bellman was like a latent or repressed homosexual?
Well, I don't know, but no, I really don't know. I don't
Well,
I don't think so, no.
I had read this gay astrology book, and the planet Uranus is really significant in gay astrology. I mean, I just find it very curious that he used that word, you know, you were from the planet Uranus, you know? Very interesting.
Well, I'll tell you this. He really preferred my little high school picture, which is upstairs, and which I can show you, a very, very innocent little boy. That this, I think, he felt was very dangerous.
Well, you know what, Ted? Ted, if
what?
you went to, I mean, had you gone to New York looking like that, they would have eaten you up. I mean, it wouldn't have been like here, where you felt like you were where you were unwanted. I mean, that person would have just been eaten up in New York.
Well, I never got to New York. Dr. Bellarmine at one point was thinking of having me come to New York to be his secretary, which was very frightening, and I protested a great deal. By the way, this is a sample of his letter. Look at that. Look at that handwriting.
I can't. Oh my God.
It's very, very difficult. Of course, when I was getting these letters, I had learned to make them out. And a few months ago, I thought, well, I transcribed his letters. You see, when he died, his wife, Catherine Bellarmine, sent me all of my letters which he had saved. So I have a complete correspondence between the two of us that lasted a few years as I was going through this stage of development until his death.
He saved your letters?
Yes, he saved all my letters.
Huh.
So I have this correspondence. By the way, look what time and life does to you. This is a recent photograph of myself. You wouldn't even recognize myself. But I don't know what you just said. Dr. Bellarmine lived in Vienna at the time of Freud, and he was one of the founders of the Babcock Society, which introduced the study of psychiatry to this country. And I know that in his letters to me, he states, Ted, I am not a psychiatrist. All you need is a little understanding. Well,
so wait a minute. So he was sort of helpful in some way. I mean,
helpful?
Yeah.
He saved my life. I really think he saved my life.
Ted?
I used to wait for those letters, and I took from them, and I really think little by little I learned to live in a world that I had not been able to exist in before. And by the way, this is my favorite actress, Catherine Cornell, in the role of Masha in The Three Sisters. So we go upstairs. You've seen